Yeah,
I'm screwed. Thank God I had a little money put up. I mean, I've got about $2,000 sitting in the bank, but that won't last forever.
Yeah, that's true.
That was smart of me to sell my Dogecoin and say, okay, I had about, at one point it was $10,000 worth of Dogecoin. Then it lost so much money, and I got down to about $5,000. I sold about $1,800 worth of it. Then Dogecoin bottomed out. Then it picked back up, and I had about $2,200 left of it. And I sold it and put up into the bank, knowing that I might need it because of what was going on at work. So it's like, okay. So I still have a little cushion in my bank account.
Yeah, that's good.
All my bills are paid. My car still runs. I mean, it's not having issues. I'm doing something okay. I mean, as long as my bills are paid, I don't care.
Yeah.
Let me put this on push to talk.
I'm not listening.
Yes, we're debuting a new feature tonight.
I saw it was. I'm really impressed.
Yeah, so we'll see how it goes.
Let me pull up the Twitch. Hold on.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the normal pregame splash screen right now. We won't get to the new border until we actually go into the session.
That's 10-4. I was streaming earlier today I started about 3 or 4. I was streaming, Kingdom Come Deliverance. I love medieval games, and I played it before, but the problem was, I transferred to computers because I have the desktop now.
Okay.
So I transferred computers and it lost my save file between the transfer. It was so I just started a new game and streamed it. I was like, hell, why not? I might stream it after D&D as well, but I'll show you. Oh, I missed you last night for the dungeon crawl, man.
Yeah, I had decided that, after doing it 2 times in a row, I was seeing there was a bunch of other people that were wanting to play. So I said, okay, I'm going to step aside. And I had planned on watching, and then I realized, there was a match on last night. So I wound up watching the soccer match, and that started almost exactly the same time as the stream. So by the time that was done, I kind of forgot about the stream and didn't jump on for the end of it.
It's all good. It was fun. Yeah. Gallius got out again thanks to Ken. Can I tell you?
Good.
Yeah, he got out again and took a bunch of people with him. So we actually did the best dungeon crawl they said ever. We got a total of like 64,000 points.
Wow, nice.
So John was impressed. He's like, I'm going to make this harder. Y'all just escaped. I was like, well,
nothing that an archmage.
Yeah, that Ken dropped in an archmage. Yeah.
Can you guys hear me good?
Yeah, you sound fine.
Okay, good.
You sound fine.
I'm back home.
Back home.
How's it feel?
Feels good. Just got back today.
Got a new camera too. Check this out.
Big Easy in the rear view.
Big Easy. Well, I just came back from Dallas. I was in Dallas the last couple of days.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Mike.
So I thought you were in New Orleans last week.
Could have grabbed a beer.
Oh yeah, I was in Dallas just for a couple of days.
Oh, okay.
Could have grabbed well, you don't drink, but I guess
I don't.
Could
have grabbed one for Ken.
They serve sodas at restaurants.
Yes, they do. All right. Welcome everybody. It is Saturday night. I am DM Gallipan. The clock on the system tray says it is 1 minute after 8 p.m. And that must mean it is time for Sword Coast Chronicles. This week, session 56, Conquering Heroes? Question mark. And as we get ready, I am going to go ahead and turn the music down. By the way, the pregame and break music this week is being brought to us by Pipe Dream Hits. Pipe Dream Hits is another service out there that offers royalty-free music, copyright-free music for streamers, by streamers. You can find them on all of the major platforms. I get my music through Apple Music because of, just so much sunk cost from decades gone by. And so all their stuff is available there, as well as on Spotify or any of the other major music platforms where you might get your music. So check them out, Pipe Dream Hits. And they are supplying the tunes at our break and our pregame tonight. All right, and also want to let everybody know we have a slightly new border for our game tonight. It's something I've been working on. We're going to be bringing in a few new features this month and next month. As people may know, next month on Twitch is September. And so as gearing up for September, we're giving each of the streams a little bit of a facelift and rolling out a few new features and opportunities for people to be a little bit more interactive in the chat and in the streams. So we will see how that goes. Keep watching each game night in the middle of or throughout the month of August to find out more about that. All right, and getting into last week's session, when we left off, our heroes were fighting a bunch of the cloud giant defenders of this castle. And they had fought and slain a number of cloud giants over here in the barracks. And then that fight went into the armory, where they killed several more cloud giants. And it looks like now they are down to one cloud giant left. And we are in the middle of this combat. To recap, the bronze dragon ally of the party, Felgolos, appears just completely maddened by the fact that he had been held captive and tortured by the former countess that ran this place. And he just seems intent on taking his rage out on any cloud giant he sees. So the party so far has not tried to dissuade him of that, but we'll see if they have any kind of reason to change their attitude throughout the evening.
They killed Sangzor.
Yes, that was the other thing. Sangzor is actually, he's down. He's unconscious. And
he's failed one death.
Has he failed? Has he failed
I
one?
believe so.
I don't think we started.
We haven't
his
rolled
death
yet.
save.
We left the episode on deciding if we were going to leave him as dead or if we were going to make him roll death
Okay.
saves.
Yeah,
So I think
so
next time
wait.
you
Reason I
come
had it in
around,
my
you
head
roll the same one.
that
Yeah, on your turn, Dez, you will get to roll the first death save for him.
gotcha.
Just don't roll a 1.
Think about how much treasure Felgolos would give us for roasted goat.
We're not feeding the dragon the goat. I got an idea.
Dragon
All
roasted go.
All right, and
Turn on your camera and say that to my face.
Ooh.
Ooh, my goodness! With our party all assembled, I would like to invite Faldor. Since you are at the top of the order, you have one. You have one enemy left over here in the corner of the room. What would you like to do? It is your turn.
I am going to do my best since I watched Sangzor go down. Give me a second. Let me see how far I am away from the goat. 40 feet. I should be able to. Hold on. 30 feet would put me close to there. If I use. Because my intention was to get as close as I can to him and use a medicine check maybe to try to help stabilize him. Let me see. Who's after me? Krenraid? Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Plus one to medicine. Because I can move. I think James was saying, I think it's a total of 90 feet's the furthest I can move in one round. Hold on.
That's how I interpret it.
I think that last time it was a mistake. I think it's 90 because I can.
Yeah.
So it's dash and dash again. Dash doubles your movement after modifiers. Dash itself is a modifier, so you're adding 30 and then adding the extra 60. So you're not doubling it, but you're adding double what your current modifier is.
Right, because I can dash as an action.
Yep. And you can dash as a bonus action, and you can dash twice. So you add the 30, and then your thing becomes 30 plus 30, and then it's 60 total after modifiers, and then you dash again. Includes the modifiers, and then you get 120.
So that's how I got
to math right now.
I don't know.
Okay,
I don't know
okay,
how that
hold on. As a rogue, dash is a bonus action for you. So
correct.
What you're debating is if you can get to Sangzor. Let's not worry about how far you could move.
Yeah,
accurate.
So you could go 30, and then with a bonus action dash, that would give you another 30. That would get you to Sangzor, and you would still have an action available.
Good point. Then I'm going to do that. That is more than enough movement speed. I'm going to get myself right here to Sangzor and try to use a medicine check to see if I can make him stable, at least stop bleeding.
Okay, so go ahead and make a medicine check.
Ooh, 12. I'm sorry, I only have a +1. I'm doing my best.
Max.
Yeah, let's see.
I don't know goat anatomy that well, Dez. I'm doing the best I can.
You're on.
You don't know giant goat.
No, do you have a healer's kit?
No, I do not. I have.
Okay.
I don't have a healer's kit. I just have a poisoner's kit.
I think that I think it's just a 10 or better.
Okay.
Will let you stabilize. It's like rolling a death save. 10 or better is a success. So yeah. It's a 12, so you now stabilize Sangzor. Sangzor is not dead, but Sangzor is at 0 hit points.
Okay.
So he is unconscious, but he's breathing. And that's a move and an action and a bonus action. So I think you're done.
I'm done with my turn. I'm there just trying to keep him from dying.
And Krenraid, you are up next.
Well, I do like Sangzor quite a lot as well, but it seems like there are people around him. He's got friends, so I'm going to go deal with this guy.
Okay.
So I'll move my distance. Go over here. Is he making any motions like to surrender, or am I going in?
Oh, no, he is not making motions to surrender. He is, he is just angry. Very, very angry.
Understandable. Me too. So I will go in for 2 attacks. We'll make this a reckless. Your GWM on both 2. -5. Gonna hit.
Okay, yeah. His armor class is it's only 14, so yeah. 28 will hit.
So divine fury damage, rage damage, great weapon damage. 17, 19 plus 17.
Okay. 17 plus 19 is 36.
36.
Okay. With that, he is bloodied.
We're going in again! Once isn't enough for this dwarf.
Yeah, and 21. Yep, that will hit. So 15 and 10, 25.
Correct.
Okay.
A lovely few taps to the leg, trying to bring him down to my level, which is quite far down, so I've got to work pretty hard.
Yes, he is not quite down to your level, but he is very, very badly hurt. I'm just bringing these guys back out of the GM layer so we know what bodies we have to loot. And he is going to he is just he knows that no matter what he does, his life is forfeit.
I mean, he could surrender.
There is the dragon there. That
I mean, I'm not speaking for the dragon.
Yeah, the dragon has murder in its eyes.
Yeah.
And this annoying dwarf just hit it in the legs and caused a great deal of pain. And so we're going to measure. Oh, yeah. Okay. So get ready to make a...
It's already on the button, don't worry. I'm ready.
Make a dex save.
What?
Krenraid, yeah.
17 fails.
Failure. Okay, so he picks up Krenraid and he hurls Krenraid 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 feet into the dragon.
No!
And so each of you takes 5d8 damage. So each of you takes 15 points of damage as you get hurled into the dragon. And with that 15 points of dragon, hey, guess what? Your dragon buddy is bloodied again.
No, we put so much effort to get him back up.
Yeah. Okay.
One thing very quickly, sorry. What kind of damage was that? Does it say?
It is bludgeoning damage. So, are you a rage? You are raging.
Yes.
So, yes, for you, it's halved.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. There's only one cloud giant left in the battle. So, it's all he gets to do. Mulek, you are up.
Okay. I yell at the Guardian to move up and pound this giant. So Guardian moves up and is going to take 2 hits. Oh, whoops. Did that wrong.
11 will miss.
Oh.
And an 8 will miss.
Ooh,
My goodness.
get them bad rolls out of the way.
He's been doing that a lot. He's been disappointing me. I'll move over and I'll point at him, and I'm going to cast a firebolt at him.
Okay. 28. So 17 points of damage.
Very nice.
So that crit is wrong. So that crit should be 20.
Oh,
it should be 7. So I guess I need to update it because I haven't updated the calculation on that. So that should be 20.
Oh, yeah. 2d10. So it's 27. 27. Minus 27. Right. Okay. Yeah. That cloud giant is now singed. Are the Is the bear going to do anything?
No, the bear has learned its lesson, and I've seen what he's done to my bag of tricks creatures, and so I keep the bear back, and he's going to stay next to me.
Okay.
He's actually next to me. Thank you. It's my pal now.
Yeah, he's in between us. Keep Bill
In between us, yeah.
Keep Bill safe.
Hey, Lackey, thanks for joining us this evening on the chat.
What's up,
yeah. All right. Dez,
Yes.
you are up, and you do not have to roll a death save for the goat because he has been stabilized.
So, is the giant wearing or carrying anything metal?
Is the
any kind?
giant? Yes, the giant is carrying a morning star, a large metal morning star. The armor is his armor class is from natural armor.
Okay. Does he have any jewelry or anything else?
I mean, he's got a belt buckle, but probably the biggest hunk of metal he has is that morning star.
Okay, so I am going to cast heat metal.
Metal. Okay. Okay, so he automatically takes 2d8 damage.
Okay.
So you can roll that, and then his con save is to see whether or not he reflexively drops. So he takes 12, and then he attempts to make a DC 16 con save, and he fails. So he drops his morning star. So he has now dropped his weapon.
Taking 12 points of damage.
Yes. What
it's
else?
Also a disarm. Very nice.
Yes. Anything else, Dez?
Nope.
Okay, Faliger.
Yes, sir.
What would
Alright.
you like to do?
Well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Guiding bolt. 3rd level.
3rd level guiding bolt. Ooh! 22 for 17 points of damage. Faliger. Oh, Faliger.
Mm-hmm.
How would you like to kill this giant?
My guiding bolt just goes right up one of his nostrils and blows out the back of his skull.
Ooh, brutal.
Yikes.
And there is cranial matter all splattered all over the wall and the statue behind him. And then he falls to the ground. And everything comes to an eerie silence. There's no more sound of alarms. There's no more sound of booted feet. There's no more sounds of combat. Then there's a noise as from far away, a rumble that grows and grows, and you realize the air of the room feels like it's vibrating, and you realize that's because the rumble is deep in the chest and the throat of your dragon ally, who then goes, "Wah!"
He got so loud it clipped out his mic.
Exactly.
It did. He also muted.
We got,
He starts speaking
Good going,
dwarf,
Gally.
Draconic and some other language you don't understand.
his voice went sub-vocal, so, we all
Exactly,
are bleeding from the eardrums now.
Yeah. The silence is when, your eardrums ruptured from this dragon's victory howl. And then he says, "Victory is ours, friends."
Yay! And there was much rejoicing.
And he
Yay.
says, "If any of you are uninjured or have the means to scout, I would appreciate a stealthy scouting report, but I think we should rest and recover our strength. I know I have taken injuries, and many of you have used many of your spell-casting abilities. It would be wise for us to hold up in a place that is defensible."
I still have spells and such left. And I am uninjured. I can, and at that time he shapeshifts down into basically a marmoset, which is like a weasel.
Okay.
And or a stout, I guess is a better word for it. And kind of perks up, looks up at the dragon, looks at the others, and scurries out the door.
Felgolos chuckles and says to the rest of you, My, you are a very resourceful bunch. Okay, so who do we want to follow first? Do we want to follow Dez on a scouting mission first, or do we want to go around the room and see what everybody else is up to?
I could use a rest.
Okay.
My spells are pretty tapped, guys.
I'm not too hurt, but I can help nurse, Sangzor back to health a little bit while we're resting.
Give you as much time as we can. Do we have enough time for a short rest?
And Felgolos says, "If we have defeated all of the defenders, then we should be able to take a long rest without interruption. But I would like to know what the Druid scouting report tells us."
Bear
when he
with me.
returns.
We could take a victory lap around.
I knew he was going to say that. It's out of character. I knew he was going to say that.
Liar.
It's very in character.
So that you may perceive your glorious splendor.
And Felgolos says, "I have not forgotten my promise, Bard. And when I am fully recovered, rest assured you and your allies have proven your worth. You will get your victory lap. You will be able to sing the song of the time that you rode a dragon after triumphant victory around the Cloud Giant Castle that you helped to topple. I keep my word to my friends. But don't push me."
I cast suggestion on the dragon. Just kidding.
Oh, no.
I'm kidding.
I hope
I'm kidding.
you wouldn't.
kidding.
Everybody else is like, "Okay, how do we get out of here?"
Everybody runs to the window. Featherfall!
I'm jumping out. I'm straight out.
Okay. Dez, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to remove the turns. I'm going to clear
Hi,
the
Max.
turns.
No,
And,
you can't. Don't look at
all
me
right.
like that.
So, you head out this hallway, and you guys kind of know what's on this level because you've examined these rooms before. You know that on the far end is where the dragon had been held captive, and where the griffins were. There's some
Still
guest
going
rooms,
to-
a meeting room.
Basically, I'm going to do a full circuit using my
Okay.
very sensitive little nose and
Yeah.
trying to find any trapdoors, any hiding places for loot, anything that smells out of place.
Okay.
And then I will move upstairs or downstairs.
Okay. So you can go ahead and move your token out to where you want to go first. Are you like going to do this like a room by room?
Right.
Search?
And I mean,
Okay.
I'm not really like doing the really slow, intensive, but I now have a much more sensitive nose
Okay.
in this scout form. So I am just doing a quick lap around each room, in, out, continue on.
Okay, so what I would love for you to give me at this point is I would love for you to give me a perception check. And now, are you using a creature that's out of the monster manual?
Yes, let me
Okay.
completely forgot. I have a sheet full of
Okay, because
that I filled last week.
yeah, if it gets advantage on certain things, well, you might be able to detect certain things, but they may or may not be relevant to what would be of interest to the party.
All right, so
Did anyone go with Dez?
No.
Did he just go by himself?
Just went by himself in tiny animal form.
In tiny animal form.
Okay.
Because it's supposed to be like super secret information. So, all right. See here what we got. And I apologize. I should have had that pulled up ahead of time. Come on. Okay. What's this? That's not it. Okay. Actually, let me grab my monster manual. It's basically, I think it's under like Weasel. So
miscellaneous creatures, just okay.
340 in the book. Okay.
Yeah, don't do that. Just use the D&D Beyond.
Well, I'm not logged into D&D Beyond, so.
Okay. All right.
What do you need to know?
Yeah, Weasel. Keen hearing and smell. Advantage on wisdom, rely on hearing and smell. All right.
There we go.
All right. So go ahead and make me a perception check with advantage.
Okay. And okay, so perception. Okay, so roll 1d20 plus 1. Oh, hang on. What the hell was that? That was a 2. Oh, there we go. There's the first one. And there's the second one. So 17.
17. Cabinets in here, all kinds of like little knickknacks and stuff. Giant size knickknacks. There's a big empty barrel over here. Smells basically like wood pulp in there. So like usually maybe paper is in there, but it's empty now.
Okay. That's weird.
Yeah.
To be in a barrel, but okay.
Yeah. So,
basically, do you want me just to count up the rooms and?
Well, just go ahead. No, go ahead and move your token, and then do your check.
19.
Okay, 19. Other than the puddles of water where those bird people used to be, really not much. You can tell a lot of gems and everything are encrusted on this throne, and the dragon has already claimed that for his own. So
I'll kind of like use my little paws to kind of like dig at the stones in unobserving places just to see if anything pops loose.
okay.
Like in the back, on the back of the legs.
Okay. All right. There's, yeah, you manage to see that on the backs of the legs and down low on the legs, there are kind of smaller gemstones. And working at them, if you work at it for about a minute with your little claws, you can pull one out. The part of your brain that is Dez looks at it and thinks, hey, okay, it's probably a semi-precious stone. Probably not worth a whole lot. Give me a history check.
Give you a history check. Okay.
Yes.
So, history check.
Then this is using
My
well,
intelligence.
would it be? I guess it would. Yeah. It would be using your intelligence.
Okay. Well, actually, the weasels. Yeah, the weasel has an intelligence of 2.
Yeah. So use Dez's intelligence.
History.
Yeah, you dig that out, and 2 things come to mind as soon as you dig it out. First thing that comes to mind is that in this form, you don't have any way of carrying that other than like if you put it in. Other than if you put it in your mouth. The other thing with a 13 that you remember, because this is so common knowledge that even Dez would know this.
Mm-hmm.
Every story you have ever heard about every dragon is that they have like this. It's not a 6th sense, it's like a 9th sense in terms of knowing down to the gold piece the value of things. And if it has claimed a thing, and if even a gold piece of value of that thing is missing, it's probably going to be extremely, extremely angry. So you know that the dragon has claimed this throne. So using that knowledge, you can do what you will, but you kind of, there's a part of your brain that goes, I don't know if it's such a good idea.
He wasn't going to take it for himself. He was going to go take it for somebody else in the group. So it's kind of like,
yeah.
So he jumps up onto the chair, like lifts the cushion up, or nudges underneath it and drops the gem underneath the cushion, and then takes off.
Okay, all right. So then over here, number 3. This is the guest room. You guys already looted the.
He's just basically looking
decanters.
Yeah.
When you go into the back here, your little nose is overwhelmed with the scent of wine from this barrel. Yeah. Okay. All right. That's that.
And I pretty much already looked around this place. I don't think that they would have had any hiding places in this area, but he'll take a whiff at these barrels and stuff.
That's the mule and horse meat that they use to feed the.
Gotcha. Okay, so then he'll make his way out here, do a quick check at the vents.
Okay, so
run along the edge here. On the deck.
Okay. The grates. Okay. 2 iron grates cover 10-foot square holes in the floor. The grates are held in place with stone and cement. A small character can fit through the gaps between the crisscrossing iron bars, and a medium character can squeeze through. Any creatures that slip or fall through a grate plummet to the ground below unless they can fly. So basically, you look down there and, you see the ground all the way down
Way
there.
down there. Okay.
Yes.
So basically, just doing his reconnaissance, he's basically going and kind of looking over the edge, looking down.
Okay, now you remember that that the wall here, or this dotted line is a walkway that's 30 feet up
Gotcha, okay.
on the next level. The ballistae are down on this level, and yes, there are arrow slits that the ballistae fire out of.
Okay, gotcha.
And they are gimbaled, not so that they can turn right to left, obviously, but so they can aim up and down.
Gotcha. Okay.
Oh.
So he'll do a quick sniff whiff, and then. So are we on the middle floor, bottom floor, top? I mean,
you're on the bottom floor.
Okay, so then he'll go.
You look out. Okay, and now you know that this ramp leads up to the place you were before, where the kitchen was and the pantry and everything like that.
Okay.
So do you want to go back up to that floor, or do you want to go?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm just, I know it was kind of boring for some people, but I just wanted to make a quick round so that I can go, yes, every single room is clear. Hey, look, I found other stuff if I did.
Okay, well, what I'm going to do is I am going to put you on the next level, and then I am going to go back to the folks in the room and find out what they are doing while Dez is searching. So,
okay,
team, anybody doing anything in particular? I'm going to go around to each one of you. Krenraid. What is Krenraid using his time for while Dez is scouting?
Well, I'm inspecting this poor giant who had his brain matter quite literally paint the walls. And I'm thinking to myself more than anything else, this finger waggling stuff, pretty good. Like, the stuff that I've seen over the past months traveling with this group, it's pretty impressive stuff, this finger waggling. I'm going to have to ask Mulek a bit about it, and then that's it for me.
Okay. The cloud giant, you notice, has a... the cloud giant has a purse on his or her we'll say it's on his person. And
searching for treasure, but it was obvious. I'm not going to say no. He is dead.
Oh yeah. The cloud giant has now. Where's the stupid thing? Because I know I read it in here. It's got a
belt of cloud giant strength.
Yes, it's a decoration for him, but
Damn it.
but it's a okay. Okay, so cloud giant. Fiddle. All right, then I'm just going to roll over here. I am going to say that they have. He's got 19 gold and 2 platinum.
Yoink.
So Somebody start writing this down. So the one guy has a purse, 19 gold, 2 platinum. And then he has his Morning Star, which he dropped, which had been heated up, but now it's cooled back down since the druid is gone and not concentrating on it anymore. And then as you go around, you see that each of the other cloud giants also has a purse with some coin on it. So let me count up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So a total of 8 other normal cloud giants. So from those 8 cloud giants, you find a total of 63 gold and a total of 50 platinum. So 63 plus 19, that's 82, a total of 82 gold and a total of 52 platinum from those giants. Now that is not counting the named giant, which you see that he has a fancy belt on, and the fancy belt has the name Cresaro on it, and it also has, if you look at the belt buckle, there's an inscription. To my love, Cresaro, and the inscription is from Countess Sansuri.
Sounds like a person we had some fun with near the room. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yes, and the thing is, you realize that Countess Sansuri was sort of like a middle-aged giantess. This is a young, strapping, probably, basically this would be like the pool boy.
She was a sugar mama. Yeah, no, I got it.
She would be kind of like the bored housewife, and he's the pool boy.
I assumed that from the description that was the nature of their relationship, but love finds a way, so fair enough. I'm now the loot gopher, so I will create a pile of everything I find remotely interesting, even though that probably isn't, and just say, there you go, guys, sort it out.
Now with Cresaro, okay.
Just let me know if anything explodes when I touch it.
No, Cresaro is a he has some fancy looking bracers on. And he also has a pouch that is slightly larger than the pouch of his fellows. And in the pouch, he has I'm gonna see. In the pouch, he has 57 gold. And he has 23 platinum. He also has 8 small emeralds that look like they are very, very high quality.
Oh, I can appreciate the craftsmanship then.
Yeah, so they probably are worth a bit of money. Do Do you have any kind of appraising skills?
Other than my history working in the dwarven masonry, where I probably use gemstones to inlay into brickwork, probably not. Like I would imagine not with the finity of it. Does it look nice? Yes.
Yes, yeah. So not like a rogue's ability
No.
to appraise and say, "Oh, I could get so many gold pieces." For
Yeah,
Thullen."
it does. This is some excellent craftsmanship. Someone's put a lot of effort into this. How much is it worth? No freaking idea.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So you can just put down 8 emeralds.
8 emeralds.
Yeah.
Small emeralds or
And-
emeralds?
Yep.
Right.
All right. So yeah. So that is basically the loot that you find from the bodies. Thaldor, what are
belt,
you?
The braces as well.
Yeah, the belt looks mundane. It just
Right.
looks like it's thing. The bracers, they have that sheen where, like all the rest of his gear shows at least a little bit of wear, and it's obviously spattered with blood. His bracers are pristine, not a single speck of blood on them, and they look like they were just made.
Yeah, he didn't have these. These were given to him by his sugar mama.
Well, yeah, but also, that may not mean anything to Krenraid, but there are other people in your party that would look and go, "Oh, no
Let me know
wear
how
and
that
tear, no, no signs that they were just in a battle." It may mean something. So, Faldor.
In the pile.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Krenraid is going around and looting bodies. What would you like to do?
Well, after making sure that the goat was stable, I guess I'd measle around and poke at the bodies as well. So I probably would have ended up joining Krenraid. But I wouldn't say much if he was pocketing stuff. You know how I am. But
Okay.
It's all going in a pile.
oh, well, that's
Yeah.
okay. Because I was going to lean over and say, it's like, I knew you were more and more like me every day. It's all right, buddy. I love you too. And just give him a wink and a pat on the back.
Thanks. Yeah, you're a nice bloke too. I like you too. But yeah, it's basically all going in a pile that's really disorganized. It probably annoys you slightly because it makes no damn sense.
A little bit, but we can just add it all to the party slush fund. It's okay.
And I will give you the fact that since the way Paul was playing it, he takes a look at those emeralds, goes, nice, and just sets them aside. So you see that he's found some emeralds. Do you have like any kind of appraising skill or anything like that?
That's fair. So I guess I just measle around and just hang out with.
No. I asked, do you have an appraising skill or something to appraise?
To appraise what he's looking at. No, I have a real high perception, and maybe
I didn't ask. you,
history's
sir.
pretty high. But other than that, I don't have an appraisal skill per se.
Okay, all right. Okay. I didn't know what they did that. Okay. We'll deal with that a little later then. All right. So now also you guys may have remembered being told last time that there's a big chest in here, and that that you guys haven't had a chance to open that chest yet. So I don't know if anybody wants to look at that. All right. Falliger, what would you like to do? Well, Krenraid and Faldor are looting bodies. Ken, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. So what would you like to do?
He would just walk around and check and make sure everybody's,
Okay.
okay, and nothing serious wounds or anything like that.
Okay. All right. And Mulek, what about you?
So Mulek first would have gone over to, I think one of these cloud giants was casting spells. I think it was this one, correct? Or I'm not sure. Wasn't one of these casting spells?
It was a fancy one, yeah.
Well, they all kind of, cloud giants have some innate spellcasting abilities, and some of them were trying to do some of those. You don't know whether any of them had like any kind of levels of wizard or anything like that, or sorcerer or anything. But
I would have.
you do know that these fancy bracers were taken off of this guy.
Okay, so I'll take a note of that, and then I probably will just call out to Thaldor and say, "Hey, there was this chest in this other room. Should we go check it out?"
Yeah, I think didn't Dez say that she smelled like coin or metal? I think we should go check that out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some metal in there.
All right.
So I'd go out there and
I'll go
ask
with him.
Thaldor. Thaldor, you want to check to see if there's any traps on that thing?
Sure, I'll give it a check.
Okay. Then let's go to this area. Do. So yes, go ahead and
I'll
make
give him
a
guidance.
check.
I'll guide him while he does
I'll
it.
take your pill.
My family.
Your little pill.
Yeah.
What is it? Perception?
Underdark's kids.
Investigation. I can't remember what skill that is.
Oh, investigation to see if there's any traps. Because you're looking at the
13 plus what, James?
1d4. So roll a d4.
Gotcha.
So 15. Yeah, you don't find any traps.
All right.
And it doesn't look like it's locked.
Oh, good. All right. Hey, Mulek, help me push this lid open. I think it's going to take me and you, if not Mr. Shield Guardian, maybe.
We got Falliger with us too.
That's true. That'll work. Falliger can help us push it open. Three of us should be able to lift this lid. Yeah.
Push it up.
Okay. All right.
I'll get my mage hand out too. So my mage hand will be out on the
Extra
far
10
side.
pounds.
Yeah. Yeah.
Every little helps.
As you push this up, you see that there are 10 large sacks. No two are exactly alike in appearance, but each one of them seems to have it seems to be tied in a slightly different way, with giving you the idea that maybe they belong to different individuals.
I guess we'll just start pulling them out and going through them.
Okay. So there's a lot of coin, and there's a total of 10,000 silver pieces and 7,000 gold pieces.
Oh, damn. You watch Thaldor's jaw just drop
I saw it and assumed it was
and
a
go, Mulek, this is more money than my uncle has. Jesus.
It's a lot.
Rich, man. Seriously.
I mean, it's not yours, the dragon.
Oh, well, yeah, well, you know, he owes us a favor.
And the and let's see, where is
You
the
said 14,000 silver and 7,000 gold?
10,000 silver, 7,000
Yeah.
gold.
Yeah, 10,000 silver, 7,000 gold.
It's very heavy.
So now, where is, there we go. Giant's bags. Okay.
We're going to
Very
need a bigger
cool.
pile.
Now,
We're gonna
there are
we're gonna need a bigger boat.
Yeah. There are some. Whoops. Okay. There are also some items in those bags other than coins. In the first bag, there is a bronze gong. Now I'm going to put this in the thing here. Bronze gong in the first bag. In the second bag, there is a 14. What is a 14? A 14 is a giant-sized drinking horn. In the third bag, actually, there's 2 items in each bag. So those are both in the first bag. The bronze gong and a giant-sized drinking horn. Second bag contains a 97 and a 76. So the 97 is a wagon wheel. It contains a
Just a
wagon
singular
wheel.
wagon wheel.
Yeah, that'll come in handy.
And the 76 is a wooden mannequin or target dummy.
That makes sense.
Okay. In the third bag, there are also 2 items. Those are an 11 and a 50. So there's an iron cooking pot.
Always use one of those very useful things.
Yeah, well, it's a giant-sized iron cooking pot.
Yeah.
And
High up.
yeah. And a 30-foot long hempen rope tied to a human-sized wooden bucket. So, then in the fourth bag, there's a 90 and a 15. So the 90 is there's a giant-sized drum. And okay, come on, be a drumstick. A giant-sized skinning knife. Close.
Close.
All right. So a giant-sized drum and a giant-sized skinning knife. Then a 40 and a 23. So the 40. A 3-foot-tall idol depicting Memnor. 3-foot-tall depicting Memnor. And I'll say that after he thinks about it for a little while, Falliger will eventually realize he's heard tales. Memnor is one of the deities or demigods that giants revere, specifically cloud giants. And so that was the 40 and the 23. So the 23 is a giant-sized pair of old sandals. All right, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now the last 5 bags, they contain a 7 and a 94. So the 7 is a giant-sized shabby cloak made of wool. and a 94 was an uprooted shrub. Just an uprooted shrub.
I guess someone wanted a house plant but didn't understand how they worked.
Yeah, exactly. Then there's a 90 and a 13. We have another giant-sized drum.
We'll have a drum kit.
And then their 13 is another giant-sized drinking horn. Hey. So, Krenraid, you now have a match set of giant-sized drinking horns.
Well, why do you assume I'm the one getting them? I mean, I'm not going to say no to taping them or bolting them together and having a dual-wielding giant drinking horn that I can barely hold.
Yeah. So let's see. 13 and 80. So, oh wait, no. I just did the 13.
Two items in a D100 table. That's crazy.
32 and 80. So there's a 5-foot length of chain. And there's a cauldron or giant-sized kettle. Oh, wait a minute. So I guess this is a giant-sized. No, this is a cauldron. So I guess the pot from before, the iron cooking pot, must be a normal size. This is a cauldron. That would be like a large cauldron. Probably would be a cooking pot for a giant, but a cauldron for other races that are not giants. 1677. Some moldy loaves of bread. 3 moldy loaves of bread. And 77. Hey, somebody knew that Krenraid was coming. There is a small casket in here. And
it's not full, is it? It is empty, right?
It is
There's
empty.
not a giant baby in it or something. Oh, thank God.
Okay, and then the last one. 89 and 39. So, hey, there's a third giant-sized drum.
Hey, we got enough for a drum kit with the pants.
Yeah, exactly. There we go. All you need is a snare now. And then a 39 is going to be another 3-foot tall idol depicting Memnor. So, yeah, apparently there's a couple of these guys that had some sort of devotion to deities, but that's what you find in there. All right.
So what Mulek would have done
Yeah.
after that is just I would have gone off to the side and would have started into if we're able to get depending on how much rest we're able to do, start into doing some arcane recovery. We'll see how it goes.
Okay. Are you going to do any rituals to identify anything at this point or not?
The only thing that piqued my interest was just the bracers, right?
That's the only thing that seems magical. You know, it's got that sheen of it never gets.
I guess I would. Yeah. Let me see if I can.
Because if you're doing that, you've had enough time to do that while they were inspecting.
Yeah. I can. I have that one prepared. So
Okay. All right.
Well, I don't really. Yeah, I use my artificer, but I have to prepare it to be able to use it. So I'll a ritual cast identify on the bracer. So that'll take about 10 minutes or so.
Bracers of defense is what they are.
And they're giant sized, right? They fit on.
Well, what you know about most magical items is that most magical items will resize. Now, you haven't run across any giant size magical items, so you're not sure, but obviously, if there's somebody that might be able to use those, you could test that theory and see if it worked. But we'll get back to you doing that later, because now we're going to go back and check in with Dez again on another map. Dez.
Yes.
You are now on... that guy's not there. That guy's not there. These guys are not there. These guys are not there. They already ran down. And all of you guys are on the GM layer. Okay, so you're back in the familiar place, familiar hallway that you were in before. You remember that over here is the kitchen, where you presume the ogres are. You guys did not. Nobody really scouted outside this hallway this way. There's a door here. Somebody said they could hear snoring through that door before. And then there had been a giant out here on the other side of this. And again, there's like 6 inches underneath these doors. So in your form, you can like squeeze under the doors if you want to check and see what's in any of these rooms.
So this balcony here, well, I don't hit that balcony yet. That's access through a different way. Okay. So I go back through here. This is where I know we were hiding when we came through, just making sure that I've checked kind of all of the nooks and crannies and boxes before moving back to check this area first.
Okay.
Next, basically, just making sure I haven't missed anybody and I haven't missed any hidey holes or...
Yeah. You guys thoroughly searched that. You don't find anything new in that area. Stepping out here, you see that these are 2 pillars. So there's an overhang. And in these areas, number 16, let me go take a look at 16. All right. Then these crates just appear to be supplies for the ballista, like tools for working on them and extra ammunition for them. The barrel over here is like some kind of a mineral oil, probably that they use for oiling the working parts. And now these ballistae are all gimbaled so that they can raise up and down as well. But obviously they fire out through those arrow slits.
Okay. So then I'm going to pop out over here.
Okay. Yeah, these going over here, you see enormous telescopes that are mounted on top of these crenellations. And these telescopes here are a good 30 feet long and about 6 feet in diameter.
Wow.
And they are mounted at a height where if you were a cloud giant, you could just very easily step up to it and look through it. They are gimbaled in such a way that those telescopes can point down or up and swivel around 360 degrees. Although, pretty impractical to use it if you're on the outside of the wall. And then again, coming over this way, you find another, just like its twin on the other side of the castle. There's another area here. Again, the boxes and barrels and crates all contain supplies for the ballistae.
Okay. And then now that I've got that done, pop over in here. You said that's all just same old, same old. So come in through here.
Okay, there we go. All right.
And then going to check out this room.
Okay, so you go into this room. The door to this room is actually ajar. And as you go into this room, you see that the bed looks like somebody hastily leaped out of it.
Okay.
And there is a portrait hanging above the bed here of a familiar looking, very elegant looking, middle-aged cloud giant female. But instead of being dressed in royal regalia, she is dressed in a very skimpy, almost scandalous-looking sort of outfit.
You see this weasel stand up and go. It's this. Look. It's just like, oh God, quick, get me out of here.
Yeah. Okay. And the there's a fine cloak hangs from a bronze hook high on one wall near a shelf that holds a dozen books. Other furnishings include a handsome rug and small palm tree growing out of an alabaster vase in one corner of the room. The vase is 7 feet tall, and it has images of armored cloud giant warriors carved into it.
Okay.
And then go ahead and make me a perception check in here.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you don't really notice anything else in here.
Okay. So then, noticing nothing else, I'll go back out this door.
Okay. Yeah.
Is there another door in here?
No, there's a door out here in this hallway that you guys had. So then
he'll go back around and come over here to this door and slip into this room.
Okay. As you come into this room, you notice in here, the front room of this area contains a spiral staircase made of decorative wrought iron that climbs up. 3 large beds are crammed into a plainly furnished side room. A closet contains an empty crate and a couple of moth-eaten cloaks sized for ogres.
Okay.
So you would guess that this is probably where the kitchen help sleeps.
Okay.
And then this is their closet back here. And then this serves basically as an anteroom for here and a spiral staircase going up.
Okay. Nothing else really important in here that I can smell.
No.
Okay.
No.
So then I'll
If
sneeze
you
before I leave.
okay, if you poke your head under here, you see the 3 ogres apparently hard at work. Whoops, I'm sorry, you don't see them because I put them on the other layer, but there's no reason for them to be on that layer. You see the 3 ogres hard at work. And they appear to be working on preparing a meal for people that I guess aren't ever going to get a chance to eat it anymore. There is a door here that does not match with any door in the pantry where you guys were. So I don't know if you want to sneak over there or whether you just want to wait until later.
I'll come back a little bit later, so I'll go back over here and go up the spiral staircase to the next level.
Okay, so I will copy this. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to find area, that particular area. And where are we? There we go. Okay, so let's. Yeah. Okay, yeah, we'll do that. All right, so I will paste you on there, and then before we go there, I'm going to go back to the other area where we were, and okay, so Dez has been gone. By this time, with all of the scouting around, has been gone about a half an hour. There's been no alarms raised, no nothing. Everything still seems to be quiet. But you haven't heard anything from him.
Yeah, Mulek will just be working on arcane recovery at this point. Just kind of studying his materials.
Corey's probably stuffing his face with some rations.
Okay. Felgolos, hears the clink of coins and comes over here and looks at the hall, and there's this brief moment where he kind of looks at Mulek and Thaldor and Falager, and there's kind of this. You guys get a brief sense of what it's like to be on the wrong end of a greedy dragon. Because it just sort of, it looks at all those coins and then it just kind of looks at you and its eyes just sort of involuntarily narrow. And then he just sort of shakes his head a little bit. He says, No. You all deserve a reward for your part in this battle. I would not be free, and I would not have defeated all of these creatures alone. You may have at least 6,000 of the silver and at least 4,000 of the gold. I may part with more of it once I know what the full value of the hall is here. But never let it be said that I am miserly and do not wish to reward those who have earned my thanks.
Thaldor, hold on.
Yeah, Mulek doesn't make a response. I'm engrossed into what I'm doing, so I just kind of let
So
that go.
Thaldor in Draconic says, "Thank you, Lord Felgolos, for your generous bounty of gifts. And we thank you for fighting so hard with us today." All in Draconic as he bows low.
And you see when you address him in Draconic and you give him the title Lord Felgolos, you see he just sort of straightens up a bit and his mouth curls into a smile. And he says, he replies to you in Draconic, "Well spoken, human. I appreciate those who take the time to learn my tongue. You have my thanks, and I grant you the title Giant Slayer."
Nice.
Thank you, Lord Felgolos. And I bow again.
And then he relaxes a little bit, and you can just sort of see how tired he is, because he's really been beat up badly in this battle. But he just sort of moves over and sort of lays down and curls up, and just sort of. You get the sense that maybe one eye closes, but the eye that's looking at that chest always stays open.
I say in Elvish to Mulek, I know he's kind of busy, but I kind of whisper to him, it's like, a dragon and his gold are never parted.
Mulek will just kind of nod.
Yeah. Does Felliger respond at all with the dragon
Let's
at
say,
this
yeah,
point?
Well, that's not always true.
Again, in Elvish, I look over at Felliger, I was like, yeah, but I'm not stupid enough to try and take this wonderful bronze dragon's gold after he's ungraciously given us so much. And also in Elvish, I tell Felliger, yeah, and he even gave me the title of Giant Slayer. That was interesting.
Oh,
Well, you don't need a title of something that you already did yourself.
That's true, but hearing that from a dragon is a big deal to me. You know, I've read about them in books, I've studied, but seeing that in person and then hearing that's kind of special to me a little bit. But
All
yeah,
right.
I guess we should get everything together, guys, and figure out what we're going to do next. Maybe take a nap. A rest would be most welcome right now.
Okay, yeah, based on the time, of course, you all don't have any way of knowing this at the moment, but based on the time it's taken, Dez, probably within the next half hour, he will have finished scouting and will return. Speaking of Dez scouting, let us go over here. And Dez, you appear in this little area here. And then I'm just going to go ahead and
Oh wow, this place is immaculate. Jesus.
yeah, remove that. All right. The decorative wrought iron staircase in one corner of this room leads up from the servant quarters and continues up to a trap door above. Colorful rugs decorate the floor of this room, while the walls are festooned with partitions forming niches that display all the objects to art that the Countess has collected over the years. The centerpiece of her collection is a stuffed young silver dragon suspended by chains from the ceiling.
Ooh.
So that
What
is
do I
kind
know
of
about how other metal dragons, or how other dragons like our friend handle seeing other dead metal dragons, or
Yeah, it's chromatic.
well,
Oh, yeah.
you would know that it would, if the dragon was not angered by seeing that, or was not angered when they saw that, they would become enraged. Your friend already hates cloud giants enough to want to slaughter everybody in this place.
Gotcha.
So, it's kind of hard to imagine that there would be much of anything other than that
Okay.
here.
So, okay. I take a quick look. Out of character, did we get the item that we were looking for originally when we...
Yes, you
Okay.
did.
Okay. So I kind of do a little mental map to see, I basically do a couple of quick circuits, just kind of looking at stuff,
Okay.
trying to see if there's anything else that we should be wary of.
Yeah, there is, in fact, something that catches your eye. Well, there are several things. There are paintings, statues, ceremonial weapons and costumes, human-sized sarcophagi, vases, and other pottery from... they look like they're very, very old. And well-preserved scrolls. Then there's a couple of other items that really stand out. One, sitting on a shelf, is an exquisitely crafted harp sized for a human. And this harp, it's one of these things that looks like it was probably just made 5 minutes ago, because it's gleaming and glistening and pristine and brand new. And then sitting over or hanging over there on a wall is a war banner that hangs from a varnished wooden rod bolted to the door. The rod is mounted 20 feet above the floor, and the banner is 9 feet long. And unlike other costumes and cloth items that, they look old and there's a little bit of like wear on them and age on them, this banner looks pristine and brand new.
Okay.
Even though it's probably old.
Does any of this spark any memories of tales, would have heard, legends, anything that's
You can make a history check.
All right.
No.
Nope.
No, does not.
Well, that's fine. I'm a backwoods country bumpkin, so I wouldn't know anything. Okay, once I've made a couple of rounds to basically get some overall descriptions, etc., of things to take back, I take it that this is like a arrow slit.
That's an arrow slit. Now, I don't know whether the weasel would be able to climb up and climb out, but you could again go under the door.
Climb.
If
if it's not like solid, like smooth, if it's like cut out brick.
Okay, so yeah.
The weasel's gonna just find fingerholds and climb right up.
Yeah, the interesting thing that when you look out, you can see it better out this arrow slit than you can out this arrow slit. Mm-hmm. But you see that out here there is a what looks like a large chessboard on the lawn, and standing on the chessboard, arranged as though it's in the middle of a game, are a bunch of pieces of armor that are the size of humans. And they are all standing in position as though two people had been playing a game of chess out here.
So he's going to leap down out of the arrow slit into the grass. And he's going to basically go over there and check them out. He's curious to see if he can identify if they're like humans that have been turned into statues or if they're just carved items.
Okay.
He wouldn't put something like that past the cloud giant.
Okay. All right. Chess pieces are all human-sized and look like decorative suits of armor. Their helms sporting designs that differentiate them. For example, the kings and queens wear crowns for helms, and the knights have helms resembling griffin heads. Pawns, rooks, bishops, knights, and kings wear armor. And I'm sorry, all of these pieces are in their starting positions.
Okay.
As you go around, you sniff around. There's they all smell very similar, except for two of them.
Okay.
The two that look like queens have a different smell. You can't really quite place what it is, but you just know these two are not like the others.
One of these things is not like the other. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good song. Good choice.
Okay.
And
so
then you can see over here a big greenhouse.
Oh yes. He's just like he's happy as a clam. So just
Okay.
He's out in his element, and he, of course, rolls around in the grass for a minute, just being a weasel and stretches, and then sneaks in.
Okay. The door to the castle's dome-shaped greenhouse has a delicate mithril frame set with panes of stained glass that look very delicate. A riot of flowering plants and herbs grow within the greenhouse. Make a perception check.
With advantage or just normal?
Yeah, with advantage.
Wow. I'm just rolling like crap all of a sudden.
Yeah. You don't notice anything. Are you going to inspect?
I'm going to spend yes, I want to inspect, and I want to use my inspiration to re-roll.
Okay.
There, that's better.
Okay. Yeah. As you get in, you crawl in there and you start padding around, and then you notice movement in two places.
Oh.
You notice movement there and there. And you realize that 2 of the plants are not entirely in their own pots. They seem to move about on their own. They're not moving to a different location, but it's like they are turning almost as though they were looking around the room.
It's a Whomping Willow. Okay. At this point in time, the moment he starts seeing movement and he focuses on these 2 plants, he's like, nope, not today, and zips back out.
Okay. All right.
And
okay.
basically just at this point in time, he'll make a quick circuit and then head underneath this doorway and pop over here.
Pop over here. Okay, so that will be over in this area here. And the okay, there's a this looks like a curious room that is a mixture of an adult room with some children's toys. There is a pair of coveralls that shows clear signs of somebody that works in a garden here. Coveralls the size of an adult cloud giant.
Okay.
But then on the floor, there's several toys, including a chariot large enough for a halfling to ride in, and a stuffed silk-skinned doll as large as a human.
Okay.
And it's a kind of doll that it's like a Raggedy Ann style doll. So clearly it's a doll made for a child, but because it's the size of a human, maybe it's made for a giant child.
Okay. What's on this shelf over here? What are these little things?
Those are some knickknacks, and there's basically there's some jars of things, and there's a bottle that looks like it may hold some kind of liquor. Clearly up higher on a shelf where it would be intended to be out of the reach of kids.
Okay.
And the trunk just has clothes or, folded neatly, clothes that look like they're for a male cloud giant.
Did I notice anything other than the moving plants in the greenhouse?
I mean, other than just a riot of all kinds of different plants.
Okay, but I didn't see a giant in there, of course.
No.
Okay,
You didn't see a giant.
So he's after having seen what was in here, he's basically on the move to clear each room to make sure that there's nobody in these rooms. And go from there.
Okay.
So he's going to check out this room next and then go to this room.
Okay. So in this room, this looks like a lounge. A 5-foot tall table of varnished wood stands in the middle of the room. Arranged atop it are several items: a hookah, a blue crystal decanter filled with fine wine, and a wooden plate covered with a mountain of figs. Blue crystal flute glasses are stored on shelves on either side of the door that leads the door over here. Then let's see. Two padded chairs covered in Yeti hide with blue-dyed seat cushions are turned to face the table. The chairs flank a marble fireplace carved with images of birds. Above the mantelpiece is a stuffed and mounted Aaracokra with blue plumage.
A stuffed Aaracokra.
Yes. A stuffed Aaracokra that looks exactly like the Aaracokra that were standing guard in the throne room before.
Okay. So I will go and take a good sniff because I don't want this thing coming to life, so to speak.
Dead a long time and mounted, stuffed as like by a taxidermist.
Oh dear God.
For the pleasure of whoever uses this room.
And he's thinking himself, boy, I sure don't want to know what the hell he did to piss off the person that did this to them. So he will, and that's in this room, right?
Yeah, that's in this room.
At this point in time, all he's going to do is he's going to peek his head under the door and just look for giant legs and people in the room. And then if there's nothing, he'll pop back out. What is this, by the way? This little alcove.
That's a fireplace.
Ah, okay.
This, you look under there. Clearly, that's a library.
Okay. So there's scrolls and stuff. And
scrolls and books.
Okay.
Galore.
All right. So then he'll basically go out, pop over here, and literally just get far enough in the room to see if there's anybody in the room and then head back out.
This room contains 2 cribs and a couple of wall shelves with large stuffed toys perched precariously atop them.
Okay. And so then he's like, oh boy.
Okay.
Oh boy.
As you go across the hall, you see a pair of adult giant legs that are standing just inside the door. And the head of a morning star is at the feet in front of it. Now, looking at other areas in the room, you see 2 6-foot-tall cloud giant children, you would think, that are huddling together over in a corner. Clearly, this giant here is kind of in a protective mode.
Gotcha.
And obviously, if you don't come all the way under the door, it's not going to be able to see that you are there.
Yeah,
but it's just
he's
like
squashed flat and basically has just enough of his nose and eyes just past the edge of the door to just get a good look up and down and around, and then he'll zip his head back.
Okay.
And then so he knows that he's going to need to go report this, but he does one last check over here.
Out here is a large garden, and whoops, no, these are all, they're all gone because the person who made them is dead. And so there are none of them no more. And yeah, but they were all over the damn place.
Okay.
And they all of course looked exactly like the one that's stuffed in there. But what you see here is you see a fountain. And there is a there is a fountain with a spout shaped like a silver dragon, bound in chains. Feeds water into a 40-foot diameter, 5-foot deep pool near the western wall. Water from the spout is collected in the pool and recycled through the fountain. Now, go ahead and make a perception check.
20.
Okay. As you look in there, if you scramble up on there and you look in there, you can see something that looks almost like an entity made of water that is moving around in the pool. And it kind of moves over closer to you. So what does Dez do?
Just kind of he's trying to sense if this is means him harm or if it's a trapped individual or an elemental, excuse me. So without a chance to really be able to dig around further at the moment, he's not gonna be able to do much.
Yeah. It moves over. Actually, as it, if you, it'll move over here, and then if you stay still, it will then begin to very slowly approach, almost like it's stalking something.
Yep. So he'll hop down, and at this point in time, he will basically scurry back. Did this staircase
as you hop down?
Mm-hmm.
There is like a crest of sort of a wave that looks almost like two arms that just reaches over the edge and grasps at air, where the weasel is sitting. Yeah,
it takes off.
Okay.
So now this spiral staircase, real quick, because I'm not going to go any further until I've had a chance to tell everybody what I found. Did it go up farther?
Yes, it goes up to what looks like a trap door, probably leading to a roof.
Okay. Well, shit. I want to, when I get back to this, I know this guy isn't probably going to go anywhere for a few minutes. Is there the trap door at the top? Is there any way for me to squeeze through, or is it just solid?
Yeah, you would have to probably be at least human sized to manipulate it.
All right. So basically, expect me to pretty much go back down, go all the way through, and go ahead and go back.
Yep. So there you are, and
basically pop in.
Yeah. So about an hour. Yeah, about an hour after Dez leaves, Dez comes back, and before you give your report, Dez, we're going to take our break.
Okay.
I have about 11 minutes to the hour, so let's go ahead and take a break till the top of the hour. When we come back, we will have Dez give the report of what has been discovered. And viewers, thank you guys for hanging out with us this evening. I'm going to go ahead and put the music up. And again, if you weren't here with us at the beginning of the night, our break and pregame music tonight comes to us from Pipe Dream Hits. It's copyright-free music by streamers for streamers. So go check them out at pipedreamhits.com. And I'm going to put myself on mute, grab something to drink, and I'll be back.
T-shirt for tomorrow. If you're a Firefly fan.
I like that. That's cool.
I am indeed, and it is always time for some thrilling.
Thrilling heroics. But in my recent Firefly loot crate, these are the socks that I got.
No.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
I'm like, look at it. There was even a freaking bar towel in there that says Canton. Let's see, I can't tell if I've got
Canton
Canton
Tavern.
Yep.
Magistrate. Yeah.
I gave up a
Fine ale
loot
and
crate years
spirit,
ago.
Protein for working mutters, Higgins Moon, Red Sun system.
I started when they first started. I had the original loot crate when it was just loot crate, and for a while it was good. I mean, we had it for a couple years, and then they kept adding different styles of loot crates, like loot crate DX, this, that, and spread themselves so thin. I was like, no, I can't. And then they started skimping on the original. Like the original used to have good stuff. They started skimping on it.
I dropped the original maybe a year into after they started releasing the Firefly loot crate. That was, I'm like, it's in every other month and it's $50, but I've gotten so many t-shirts and so many cool things. Now the only thing is this one had this new display or new toy in it, and it's Wash, and it is the freakiest looking Wash that I've ever seen.
Oh, that's creepy as fuck.
That's pretty cool, though.
That's creepy as all hell.
It's fucking creepy.
It's like something you'd see in a low budget horror movie.
Yeah.
It looks like a cheap, low budget thing.
Well, it's actually looks like it's really well put together, but it's
sure
just,
it is. It just looks creepy as hell.
The face is the weirdest damn shit.
It's weird as hell. Like his crotch, his arms, like way bigger than the rest of his body. Too.
Well,
it's like it's also so small.
Just the style, but
yeah, it's the style. 100%.
The one thing
I was eating earlier.
It's got a little stand in there for it, but what I love is that he's got his little dinosaur.
Oh, he does understand, so that's good.
So. And then the only other thing that came in the box this time was a pin. They always give you a pin, remember? And this one has a heart and it says
Vera.
I call it Vera.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
I love it. It's one of the few pins that I'm like, I gotta put that somewhere.
How have we had a remake of all of these Disney movies and everything else, but we haven't had a continuation of Firefly yet? What the hell is going on?
Fox owns the rights. Fox owns the rights.
Because they don't make any remakes.
Fox.
And Fox will not give up the rights to it.
But Disney owns
wait
Fox.
100 years to
it doesn't matter.
domain.
I think there's something that just they're not allowed to.
It'll be pre-merger or something.
Well, you do know why you'll never see a Back to the Future remake or a continuation of that movie, right?
We've had enough of those, personally.
Right, but
No.
The reason being is Robert Zemeckis said over his dead body because he owns the rights to Back to the Future. And he said there will never be one unless he dies and his kids sell the property. There'll never be another Back to the Future movie.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Now I happen to say I really like I liked all three of them. My favorite I think was the Western one, 3. And I find it sad that I found it cool that ZZ Top was actually the musicians in the movie, and
they're playing their song backwards.
Huh?
In the movie, here's a little bit of I'm huge on Back to the Future. Here's a little bit of trivia for that. When they're playing the song they're playing at the Western, when they're playing at the fair, is their song Double Back played backwards.
Really?
Yes, they're playing their song.
Because it's actually really fucking catchy.
Yeah, it's their song because they wrote some songs for the movie, but that's one of their well-known songs. They're just playing it backwards.
Cool. Well, of course, then the bass player just died last week.
Dusty Hill.
I know.
Did you see him? Did you see him in the episode of King of the Hill where they actually had Dusty in the episode of King of the Hill?
No.
You got to look it up. It's great. Well, his last name is Hill, so get it. Hank Hill.
Yeah, Hank
it's
Hill.
Funny. He's like, it's a great little episode where Dusty shows up and something about how they're related or something.
Nah, but yeah, I have to say that Back to the Future is one of my all-time childhood movies, and what's really cool was we got to see, it was one of those summer concerts we have a summer concert thing in Omaha, and it's usually like August, where they have this at a place called Memorial Park, and it's a free concert. But people go out there and camp pretty much the night before, or go out and lay out blankets and stuff, and other people save their spots, and there's no assigned seating or anything. It's just you go out, throw a beach towel down or a blanket down, and that's your spot. So if you want a close up to the stage or anything like that, then you'll need to get there at a decent time. Well, one year they had Huey Lewis in the news.
Oh my goodness, that'd be amazing.
And they went the entire concert without playing Power of Love. And so concert came to an end, and everybody's like, woo, and then you hear some people are like, come on, boo.
Encore.
And encore kind of thing. And here comes Huey Lewis, and he's like, all right. I have played this song for 25 years. But he's like, it seems to be always the favorite one, even though, we could play this in our sleep at this point in time. And
I would get bored of it as well after that long.
I've been listening to it for 25 years, multiple times, so I'm not tired of it.
Well, it's just like the guy that did, was it Dexy's Midnight Runners, the song I Ran, the 80s song? He literally said he was on stage and told people to F off one time because it's all they wanted to hear was that song.
Oh, yeah.
Over and over.
Over and over. Yeah. So he literally just now, he says, there was an interview on him about 5 or 6 years ago, and he's like, I refuse to play that song at all. Like, he won't do it no more.
I think it's a shame. Like some artists, they're one-hit wonders, but then they want to sit there and complain about being their one successful hit 10, 15 years later, 20 years later,
Well,
I would never complain about it because it's free money.
Right, but Huey's backstory, right? That he wanted to sing country music before he did rock and roll.
Well, yeah, that's like a Waylon Jennings story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huey actually came to Nashville.
Yeah.
And that's why you see that one video of him and Garth Brooks working for a living.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because he always wanted to do music or country music. And the story goes that he knew this country singer, and he said, Huey, you just don't have the voice for country. You need to try rock and roll. And that's when it took off ever since.
Well, what I love is that he was actually in the Back to the Future movie. I'm sorry, kid. You just don't have it.
And just playing Power of Love at the time.
Which is bullshit. It's just, you just need a little bit of an
and the
accent.
funny thing is he said that the Power of Love was, it's literally, he was asked, hey, can you write a song for this? And he got the rundown of what the movie was, and it was one of those songs that just came right off the cuff. He was just wrote it down, said, hey, how's this sound? Basically played a version of it, and the director was like, that's exactly what I want to finish the song. And yeah, it was great. So
speaking of the Power of Love, are we gonna let this dragon kill 2 baby giants?
No, actually, I think we can talk him into using them, raising them, and then they are his personal servants.
Slaves?
Thralls would be a better way to put it. Thralls. But I mean, Theodore, out of character speaking, it'd be like his mind is, I don't care what the dragon does as long as I don't see it. That sounds cruel, but if I don't see it, out of sight, out of mind.
Yep.
If I see that dragon going after kids, I'm going after the dragon.
Can children still, at that age, learn to cast spells? Because
probably.
All right. Let's
find out.
Let us reconvene.
We could throw a porthole.
Dez returns, and Dez, you find some of your friends out here in this area, and you hear the when you ask about the dragon, people point into the barracks.
Well, actually, he hasn't changed back yet, so he basically kind of looks at everybody, then kind of like runs to the door, turns around, looks at him, turns around and runs back to the door, then turns around and looks at him like, come on.
Okay.
I don't only want to say this once.
Which door are you running to? Are you running to the door
This
to the
one.
barracks? You're running to the. Okay. Okay. There you go.
So he goes here, and then he comes
Okay.
back. He comes here. Like, come on. And then he'll zip underneath the door, and then once he's in that room, he'll change.
Oh, okay. This door is open. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So then he'll just dash through the door. So
Okay. And as soon as you come through the door,
Guiding bolt.
the dragon, of course, has that one eye open, and the dragon raises its head up and says, "Ah, our scout has returned."
yes. And he kind of waits until the others have at least he knows that they're kind of semi paying attention. And then he says, well,
I presume,
have-
Krenraid, are you going in for this, to hear this?
Yeah, I will be. I'll
Okay.
be trying to listen.
Okay, all right.
Mostly curious about where the hell this weevil came from.
Okay, all right.
where the hell this
And-
what came from?
Weasel.
Oh, weasel. Well, then you see him just immediately turn into Dez.
Ah!
Okay. All right, so
Yeah.
we'll
How many
presume
animals
everybody
could you
is-
turn into? Oh my god.
I can turn into quite a bit, but only two a day.
That's very impressive.
So he changes and basically goes over and bows to the dragon and says, I have scouted as far as I am able, and I have some things to report. Some you may not be happy to hear, some you may. So he will
First, tell me about the other defenders. Are there more?
there is, as far as I can tell, I have not been able to make it to the roof because I could not lift the lid to go to the upper level on the roof. But
Understandable.
there is one cloud giant left that I can find, and he is protecting two young cloud giants that are 6 foot, however old that is. They are in something.
There are
that's
two
somewhat like
giant
nursery.
hatchlings?
Yes,
Giant hatchlings
and they are.
eventually grow into full-grown giants.
And he kind of gives a slight bow and goes, however, I would suggest that if possible, seeing if they are children, and children can be very malleable at this age, and I would suggest seeing if you can perhaps make them learn how to be your servants and do the heavy lifting, so to speak. Because right now they are basically cowering in fear in the room with the hill giant that is protecting them.
The cloud giant.
Or cloud giant. Jeez, I keep wanting to say hill giant. Derp.
No, you want to say cloud giant.
Yeah.
Think cloud giant. No. All right. So anyway, so the dragon says, you small races, your hearts are as soft as your flesh. Giants and dragons do not mingle.
They're dwarves and giants, but we don't go around killing each other's children.
So you can. It is your
Master
castle.
Dwarf.
Yeah.
Master Dwarf.
Master Dragon.
There are atrocities. None that I know of involving the clan of Hillcrest. But there are atrocities in the lore of my kind where holds of dwarves have looted the hordes of dragons and slaughtered hatchlings still in the shell. Babies before they ever had a chance to draw their first breath. Do not talk to me of the enmity of your kind towards my kind.
It's got nothing to do with you meant giants, mate.
No. I mean dwarves.
Well, if I saw a dwarf doing that, I'd punch the fuck out of him.
Falazar speaks up very sternly and he says, Felgolos, what do you plan on doing with these children?
And he looks around at all of you and he says, I think that if I told you my plan, it might turn your stomachs.
Thaldor bows low in Draconic, because I know that only Mulek understands Draconic. And I say to him, Lord Felgolos, let thy will be done. This time, I'm trying not to laugh. Let thy will be done, but Lord, I choose not to see your wrath upon the giants at this moment.
And then at this point in time, Dez finally speaks up and goes, but that is a discussion or an action for another time. However, the giant that is guarding them is the only giant that I can find left. And they are the only living creatures that are left. The upper level is actually very well maintained and is actually very beautiful and would be a very good fit for you. The greenhouse has a couple of moving plants, however, and he seems kind of nervous at this point. I found basically what I'm assuming is the treasure room, the important room.
Ooh.
And there are shelves filled with many oddities and things. He kind of gives a description of some of the items.
Okay.
And then he says, however, there is, he's really hesitant, and he kind of bows again and he goes, I'm sorry to say, my Lord Dragon, that there is, or Master Dragon, that there is the remains of a silver dragon. Was it young or old? I can't remember.
Young.
A young silver dragon that appears to have been killed and stuffed and hung from the ceiling in that room.
Do you see? This is why no giant can be left alive. The young will learn. It's in their blood. They hate dragonkind. They hunt dragonkind. They must be stopped before they can become old enough to do unto me.
When Mulek hears that, he looks up from what he's been doing and also says in Draconic, there is no honor in killing young. You should know that more than anyone.
Teach them a better way, then. Hate begets hate.
Teach. What I had suggested was to take them on as making them servants, but teach them to be ambassadors for you. Teach them how your species are, though you are powerful and frightening to many, you do have a benevolent side, and you wish for even the enemy of your enemy to speak kindly or at least honorably of you. Come on, Max, move.
Okay.
But as it stands, Master Dragon, this is your property. This is your castle, and you may do as you see fit. The only things that I found were the hill giant that is protecting the two children.
Cloud giant.
A cloud giant. God damn it. Cloud giant that is protecting the two children. A water elemental in a fountain, and two moving bushes in the greenhouse. And there is. Oh, and he stops for a minute and he goes, I apologize. There is a chess set, a large chess set, like on the ground.
Ooh.
In one of the areas. However, even though the knights and everything else are obviously carved stone statues, the two queens are different. They smell different. There's
Interesting.
something different about them, whether, I will leave it up to you to investigate. And there's a room that has a stuffed Aaracokra, the creatures that we saw guarding the throne room. They are identical to this stuffed Aaracokra that looks like he was killed many, many years ago. So it's interesting. There is a library full of scrolls. But
when you talk about the stuffed Aaracokra, the dragon says, Jaka.
Hmm?
And he says, while she tortured me, the Countess taunted me, saying that she might use me for the same purpose as she used Jaka. Jaka was a curious and sadly very misguided Aaracokra who came to visit the tower many years ago. The Countess invited him in, treated him as a guest because she liked his plumage, the unusual blue color of it.
Yes.
But when she tired of this guest, she had him slain, had him stuffed, and then used him as a pattern to create simulacra guardians, creatures of mere ice and snow, given the form of living beings. And she had those guard her throne room and the various parts of her castle for her amusement.
I see. Well, all I can suggest is that, I don't know, perhaps give him an honorable burial. The only other thing I would suggest is there is the fountain that has the water elemental in it. It is carved to look like a silver dragon that has been chained, but I was not able to get close enough to actually see if that was perhaps a dragon that had been turned to stone, or if that was actually just a carving. So
Very
I would
well.
leave that to you to discover.
Very well. Desarius, you have given a full accounting and a good report.
You have
My
3
friends.
ogres, by the way, that are working in the kitchen, oblivious of everything else that's going
It's
on.
always good to have chefs.
They're currently working on the evening meal, from what I could tell.
Well, ogres are dumb brutes. They will cower before anything that has sufficient power.
Oh, yes.
If they cower before cloud giants, they will easily cower before a dragon. I would not be surprised if they cowered before you.
Well, that is, other than that, there is, I know I keep saying things, but as I remember them, I apologize. My brain in weasel form was not the greatest, but other than those small items, and if there is possibly anything guarding the roof, there is nothing left in any of the rooms. They have all been cleared out.
Very well. Now, I sense among all of you a distaste for violence done to young creatures.
Balazir comes and stands next to Krenraid.
What, Desarius, you have offered one possibility. Raise them and train them as ambassadors.
Well,
What would the rest of you counsel?
I think Dez had a wonderful idea. The idea of using someone who's supposed to hate you in this stereotypical way, and then they're under your thumb saying you're the best, you're the greatest, is pretty... Yeah, I don't know about you, but the irony alone would be well worth the effort. Like, a creature that lives as long as you must find it hard to have a bit of a giggle.
I don't know. To me, it would be hard. At some point, they're going to ask what happened to their mother.
You tell them. Simple as.
Toddlers speaks up in common because I don't want people to think I'm shady. I say, Lord Felgolos, I have to agree with my companions. That would be your best course of logical repose. Is, and as my friend the dwarf just said, Krenraid said, you tell them what happened, but at the same time, make them your ambassadors. Make them somebody that you can show, like, look, it doesn't have to be all bloodshed and murder and mayhem amongst dragons and giants, that there can be some sort of, I wouldn't call it peace, but understanding is a better way to put it.
Fill their heads full of stories of other conquering kingdoms and whatnot, and what happens to those that lose, etc. And when the time finally comes to explain what happened to their mother, they are well aware of what happens to defeated monarchs and so on and so forth, so that it is not so shockingly brutal, I guess the word would be. They are aware of what happens in situations like that.
I think it's a terrible idea unless you can raise those children with love, Felgolos. They'll have nothing but hate in their heart.
What does Mulek know about the alignment of bronze dragons? What they believe?
Make a gosh, I guess it would be make a history check.
Come on, Max, move.
History check. A bronze dragon
it wasn't last week or the week before. I did that. I got a really good score. I think Falliger.
We did.
Yeah, Falliger knows
did that
about
before,
dragons.
right?
Well, he knows about dragons, but in this case, like about Bronze Dragon was the role he rolled.
Lawful good. They are lawful good.
So they've got pretty good, strong morals, right? So
they've got a very strong sense. Well, they've got a very strong ethical code.
Mm-hmm.
And the ethical code of this dragon seems to be that all giants are, heinous and everything. Now, what I am going to say is I am going to say that I think as a group, if you want to, as a group, you can try making a group persuasion check. And it would be like if the majority of you succeed, that would be considered a success.
So Mulek would just put in his 2 cents, and I would say in common so that the rest of the party can understand. Is my feelings are to let this caregiver and these 2 young be set free, but witnesses to attest to the generosity that you showed them, despite the heinous cruelty that you received at the hands of their mother. Let these young decide for themselves how they're going to choose to live their lives, but hopefully by doing this, they might choose the better path, and that you might have witnesses attest to your generosity in that matter, and that if they ever do desire to come back and seek revenge, that you will have the full support of any around you to not seek, but fight back against their unjustly revenge that they might seek. Because
also testament to your might.
It would not be valid.
He says, I am not inclined to let them go for the following reason. If they are let go, they will gravitate to others of their kind who will fill them with the stories of how their parent was slain by a dragon, further filling them with the hatred their kind has for my kind. If I leave them alive, I would prefer to keep them as, I believe you nobles, or your human nobles, put the term wards, where they basically would guarantee that this castle would not be summarily assaulted, because people would know that there are cloud giant young in here that are under my protection. Other cloud giants may say that they are my hostages, but I care not a whit what other cloud giants say. As for this guardian,
He is armed.
I would have to know his heart. The fact that he has stayed with the children and not sought conflict outside, that speaks well for him. That he puts their safety above his own. Perhaps he is the father of these children.
Who knows? But if I may make an additional point.
Yes.
The caretaker may have an inkling, but the children won't understand. They don't even know that it was you that killed pretty much everyone here, right? What if we just went down there, acted like villains, and we just left?
And you
Wait, what?
protect them.
Yeah, and you protect them from us. What better way to inaugurate yourself with someone by being their protector?
So you propose a ruse
I don't know what that
That-
is, but a trick, yeah.
that I set myself up as the liberator of the palace from small folk raiders who came, freed all of the griffins, destroyed all of the defenders, and then somehow I got free of my bindings and chased you all away after you had slain all of the other defenders.
Yeah, we can make a grandiose scene of it, you know. You can fight us next to them and they can look through the door and we'll all just jump off, go, oh no, he's beaten us, and then we'll just run away.
I don't know that they would fall for that. This defender probably wouldn't.
No.
He would know that I was the Countess's prisoner.
They'd
Look,
offer him
I don't give a
deal.
damn what we do with the children, as long as that they're not harmed and that they have a chance to choose their own destiny in the future.
Exactly. That's why I was suggesting this, because he could just let them go and they'll think, the children will, that he is their savior. In fact, he was benevolent in his act.
Everybody go ahead and make a persuasion check.
Well,
I'm going to guide myself on this one because
yeah, me too.
persuasion
Yeah,
is
that
horrible.
mine was also
So
horrible.
I pop a pill, just like, we really need to convince this guy.
But what the group didn't hear in Draconic was, I don't care what he does, it's up to him.
Wow.
Whoa,
Um,
let's see.
I think this is gonna, I'm gonna inspiration reroll this one, that's alright.
Okay.
I'm going
so,
Inspire Krenraid with the little
Mulek, you got a 50. No. Okay.
little shoulder
Mulek,
bump.
Mulek got a 3. I got a 3.
I'm not
So-
standing next to Mulek, but I kind of just give Krenraid a
21.
reassuring.
21 and a 14.
But he wasn't going to let him go
4.
free, and that's what I was urging, so.
A 4, a 2, and a 3.
I plan to inspiration reroll if that is allowed, Gally.
Oh, okay, go ahead. Yeah, you can. If you have inspiration, you can reroll.
I feel
I
like
can-
this needs it.
I can inspire him too, can't I?
Yeah, you can give him bardic inspiration.
Yeah, that's right, that's
So
what I
he
do.
gets a
Yeah.
reroll, and then you can add
D8.
D8. So 11, and then add a D8.
Damn.
13.
All right. Well,
It's better than it was.
Wow. Wow. So he
Krenraid was telling him to be savior, right? So that's probably not a good idea. I was telling him to
He
get
looks
free
at-
him, so he wasn't going to do that.
Yeah, he looks at Faliger and he says, "You ask me to let them make their own decision.
No.
There is something in
he cuts him
those-
off. He cuts him off. He says, "No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that you break the cycle, which starts with you." Can you
Well-
at least try to love these children and raise them the way that you're talking about doing? I think you'll find that you will. Just asking you to be the majestic creature you already were created to be.
I tell you what I will do. I I will say that we should stay here in this room, and we should take a long rest. Everyone should regain their powers, their health. I will regain my health. And then, after a long rest, one or more of you who is bold, I would ask you to go to this place where this defender is. First, we will find if the defender is still in that location. And give them a message that the new lord of the castle would like to see them in the throne room. Ask them to bring the children.
I'll do that myself. But perhaps maybe we should eat a hot meal and then rest. No decisions should be made on an empty, tired stomach.
That sounds good. You say that there are...
I'm not eating what the ogres are cooking.
Oh, yeah, but you know the ogres, they were like cooking some really tasty sounding stuff.
Some spicy stuff.
I'll eat that. Bring it on.
That's right. You gave them the hot sauce, didn't you?
Oh yeah.
You put on the pumpkin pie.
Oh, that's right. Yikes.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, the pumpkin pie was for the countess, who sadly, and nobody's going to be allowed to cut that until the countess does, and she's not cutting anything.
Come on, man.
So, pumpkin pie is probably never going to get consumed. But who would like to? And we're not gonna go wandering all over the maps again.
Mm-hmm.
But who wants to go down to the kitchens and bring back dinner for everybody?
Krenraid will, because they've already seen it.
I'll go with Krenraid.
Yeah, I can go down there with my guardian and help carry.
Okay,
stuff
all right. So you go down there, and when the guardian knocks on the kitchen door and the ogres open it, let us see, when the ogres open that door, of course there's Drat, and Corb. They all there's big plates that are being set out, and they're getting ready, and they don't hurt us, what do you want?
Oh, chill out. We're just here to get some food for everyone and the big person in charge, alright? That's the only reason we're here for. Speaking of food, is it ready yet?
Oh, yes. Do you know when the countess is going to come for her pie?
Not anytime soon.
She's a little indisposed at the moment. But I'll gladly take a piece of that pie, though. She said it's okay.
Oh, well, she always likes to cut the pie first. I think we should wait until she cuts it. Then we will give you a piece. But yes, here is the rest of the meal. Are the guards going to take their meal in the barracks as usual, or where should we serve?
Just leave it here. They'll come and get it, or they'll send us to go and get it. They're a bit tired at the moment. Don't worry about it. Just stay down here. Have yourselves a good relax. Yeah, you did a great job. And he'll slap his leg a bit.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you. Are you going to need us very late, because we're going to be shutting the kitchen down in a couple of hours and going to bed.
Nah, go to bed. You guys deserve it. You've done a fantastic job here.
Okay, well, now you must know, and he points to a couple of special plates. These are the plates for the children. Will you take the dinner to the children?
Yeah, of course. Just leave it there. We'll take it all. We'll do the round, you know. Oh,
you are very kind. And you So you are the inspectors that Dret told us about, right?
Dret? You weren't supposed to tell them anything. Now the whole thing's doing. What are you doing?
I wasn't supposed to tell. I wasn't supposed to tell. And
It's being marked down, Dret.
and Corb points at him. Ha ha ha! Stupid Dret. Ha ha ha! You told. And Dret points back at him and says, "Ha ha ha! Stupid Corb! You forget to lock pantry. Ha ha ha!" And so then they.
Oh, you're the one who
did
forgot to
not,
lock the pantry.
Did too. Did not. Did too. And they start. They start picking up things like they're about to start throwing kitchen implements at each other.
Just chill out, guys, all right? There's no harm done, all right?
Oh, yes, inspectors.
There's no harm done. You're all fine. The kitchen's in an immaculate state, and because the food looks so freaking delicious, I'll let you all off with a pass. Don't even worry about it.
Oh, thank you, Inspector. Thank you. And they all look in, and Drat looks at the other two of them and shakes his finger, says, "You two are lucky. We did not get in trouble." And they look sufficiently shamed. So yes, you guys get the food. You can take back enough to go back up. Now, I presume, and after a bit, they will indeed. If you guys come back later, you will find that they have indeed all gone over and retired in their own beds for the night. And because you all have the skeleton key, you can get in and out of the kitchen. So whenever you need to.
I would suggest taking the food up to the room with the kids, set it outside the door, knock, state, dinner, and then run like hell.
Not a bad idea. Maybe we should bring it to them as a peace offering when we go down to talk to them for the first time.
Could do that.
I know if
too,
someone brought me food, I'd be happy.
but if they're hungry,
yeah, they might come looking for it. Yeah, it's true.
Exactly.
I would.
Well, we know.
Okay.
So what I'll do is I'll leave it outside their door and just run like hell.
Okay. So do that thing where you leave it and then knock on the door
Ding
and then run
dong
as fast as
dash.
you
Run.
Ding dong
I'm out.
dash. Okay. All right. Falliger, anything related to him leaving the food you wanted to say?
Oh, while they're gone taking care of the food, Falliger just is speaking with Felgolos.
Okay. All right. So let me get through this little bit first, and then we'll get back to your conversation with him. All right. Krenraid, give me a dexterity check. This is, you don't have to make a check to knock on the door, but this is just getting out of the hallway without being spotted.
Right. I'm not raging, so it's just not. 7.
Okay.
Karma,
Right.
you fickle thing.
So you knock on the door. You hear as you start to bolt down the hallway, you hear the door open and you hear this giant voice. "Dwarf, I see you." And you get the sense of something being hurled at you.
I bring you food and this is what you do. Calm down.
And let's see. A rock.
Ouch.
A rock gets hurled at you. Does a 21 hit you?
It does.
Okay, you take 30 bludgeoning damage
Damn.
as you get smacked by a boulder.
What the hell was that?
Ow.
If you are still here in the morning, I will have you and all the other intruders flayed, says the voice. But
why don't you
there's
taste that food for those lovely kids and then go to hell? And I'm leaving.
Okay, all right.
After that,
All right, so you come back. All right, while he's gone, Falliger, you're having a conversation with Felgolos. So let's do that.
Yeah, it would just. He's like talking to him about, what's he got plans for the keep and, a little small talk, but then he'll bring up a more morbid question. And yeah, I'm not strong enough to get rid of all these bodies, but don't you think we ought to throw them over? Try to clean up this area a little bit. It's a little bit morbid, don't you think?
He says, I think we have some work for the ogres to do. I am partial to the taste of giant when it is broiled and prepared with the proper spices.
Alrighty then. Well, I'm sure there's a dining hall somewhere around here we could have dinner in.
Oh, I am not going to eat them raw. I am a civilized dragon.
I meant for us, for our evening meal / victory party.
Oh, yes, there is that meeting room. So, on the map over here. That would be a great place for you guys to go eat away from the carnage.
With plenty of wine, if I remember.
Yeah, it's like I think the dragon's going to eat the corpses.
Actually, the wine is over here, but you can bring some of it over here.
Good thing we've got a very large pot.
Would I have had time to do arcane recovery during this whole time?
Yeah.
How long does that take?
It's 1 hour.
Yes.
Yeah, you would have had time to do that.
So before I leave this, I'm going to wait till everyone leaves this room, and then I'm going to just walk over to the Shield Guardian, and I'm going to charge it with a spell, and then I'll join the rest of the party in the dining hall.
Okay.
Or
All
the
right.
Meeting room.
Yeah. So you guys can go over here. I'm gonna bring Bell's token over here.
We have to stand in the chairs instead of sitting.
Basically, yeah. So, Felgolos, asks for someone to keep an eye on the door leading in here, but he will go ahead and close this door here and sleep or rest, take a long rest in this room. You guys can take your rest here or in here or any other combination of places.
Okay. So we take a long rest before we go down there and speak to the. Okay, sounds fair.
And I would have said everyone, hey, I can have the guardian, my guardian keep watch, as well as Chunk. So I'll have Chunk and the guardian keeping watch. They'll alert us if anyone comes in.
All right. Okay. So we eat dinner and then we come back in the safety of this area and rest.
Okay.
Sounds good to me. Long rest.
Well, before we leave the room where we've eaten our dinner, right, there's something we should probably discuss right quick.
Oh.
And that's, do we trust the dragon not to hurt the kids?
Falliger speaks up to Krenraid. He says, yes, I trust the word of a dragon, at least a lawful good one.
Well, my past history of dragons is a bit bleak, but I don't blame this particular dragon for that. It was a different dragon, so why would I blame him? But He didn't really seem to be convinced one way or the other of a dealing with these children. He seems to know that we don't want it to happen, but he'll be at his full strength tomorrow. And if he does decide to have a go at the kids, I seriously doubt we could stop it.
I think that hatred runs deep between the two bloodlines, and I believe that he knows in his heart that what's right, what's wrong, and he's struggling with it. We just give him space and let him come to a good-natured decision. You know, if it was a chromatic dragon we were dealing with, and I wouldn't even hesitate.
A dragon's a dragon, isn't it? Why do you keep mentioning chromatic? What's that about? What does that even mean?
Well, think of a coin, Krenraid. On one side is heads, and the other one is tails.
Yeah.
So one side is good and one is evil. And then the middle, if you turn it on its side, that would be neutral. Such is the nature of dragons.
This guy is neutral because he wants to kill children, but he doesn't want to do it right away.
No, he would be more, he's a good aligned dragon. He'd be somebody that probably worships Bahamut. Do you know who Bahamut is?
Not a clue. Sounds like a fancy name.
Well, he's the good deity / god of all good dragons.
But what about killing children is good?
Nothing. I think he was just his anger and his rage talking.
I mean, I've done really stupid things in anger and rage. I consider myself a pretty alright chap.
Well, me and you are not a dragon, that's for sure. So.
Oh, thank God. Imagine trying to walk through doors with that huge frame. It was such a pain. Alright. Well, if you guys think it's alright to trust him, I'm not going to interject. I just felt it should be mentioned.
Does Dez wear armor?
Yep.
You said yes?
Nope.
Nope.
Does not
No.
wear armor.
No,
Okay,
does
I didn't
not.
think so. And you don't use a shield, right?
Wooden shield. If
We haven't
he
found a
does.
wooden one
I
yet.
do not
Yeah, we
have
haven't.
a shield.
But you're
Yeah, we
but you're
haven't
not
found a
using one
shield.
currently.
No.
I haven't
No.
seen you using one. Okay, so I'll tell the party. I'm like,
I apologize. I goofed. I have leather armor, but it's
Okay.
minimalistic. So
yeah. So I'll speak while we're eating dinner. I'll just say, Kren, those bracers that were found on the giants.
Oh, the really shiny ones, yeah.
These shiny bracers. They may be useful for someone, but they're only useful to someone who's not wearing armor and not using a shield. And looking around at all of you, probably the closest one of us who may even be possible to benefit from these would be Dez.
Dez is busy eating, and then hears his name, and he looks up. Huh?
So we found some bracers, these shiny bracers, and I kind of point to them. These things will protect you. They act like armor, and I explain what they can do so that everyone understands that it adds +2 to your armor class. But you can't be wearing armor and you can't be using a shield.
Oh, I can always put my leather armor away.
And I look to the others to see if they all agree that Dez might be the one who would, benefit the
Belle
most from
using?
these.
Where's what?
What's Belle
Belle's
using?
I think she's a bard.
She should be wearing armor, I just don't know that she is.
Yeah.
I think she's got armor, and then she's got my +2 shield now too.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was that whole debate I remember was discussing.
Or my +1 shield. She's got my +1 shield.
Well,
Excellent.
Okay, so looking at Dez right now, Dez with leather armor
Mm-hmm.
and a 15 dexterity, which is +2 bonus on the armor class. has a 13 armor.
Okay.
So if you take the leather armor off, that would be a 12. And then you add the 2 from the bracers, that would take it to a 14 by my count. I believe
Right.
I am calculating
it's
that
just
correctly.
Yeah.
It's
so
a
it'd
straight
just be a
upgrade,
plus
yeah.
1.
Now with
Yeah.
druids, now out of character, she's a moon druid, right?
Mhm.
Or she's a
I
You're a
am
moon druid.
Mhm.
right?
Circle
You
of the
break-
moon, yeah.
Do bracers of defense? Don't they work in animal form? I don't know.
Basically,
It just says while wearing the bracers, you
Yeah.
gain a bonus.
It's true.
okay.
They do
In
require
previous editions,
attunement.
yes, but I'm not sure about 5e, honestly.
That's more of a question. Let me look at Druid real quickly.
Yeah.
When
sounds-
the Druid does their
Shapeshift.
wild shape.
Yeah, I think it works.
So, when you transform, you
You choose whether your equipment falls to the ground in your space. Oh, go on.
Yeah, you choose whether your equipment falls to the ground, merges to your new form, or is worn by it. So
Oh, cool.
worn equipment functions as normal, but the DM decides whether it's practical for the new form to wear a piece of equipment. So, if you change into a form that has 4 legs or 2 legs, then the bracers, if you choose to keep them worn, would just fit around the form of that. So let's say you change into the form of an eagle. They would go around your legs. If you change into a form of a bear, they would go around your front legs.
I love the thought of a bear wearing a cape, a hat, like a magical plate of armor. Like, this is some serious golden compass.
But no. We're talking only about the bracers of defense.
I know.
We're not
I just
talking about
think it's funny.
Yeah.
Hey, so Dez or Krenraid are the only 2 that really make use out of them. So you 2 decide.
I've got half plate and a shield, which I do use a lot, so I'm good. Yeah.
Oh, you're
this
using
is all
half plate?
defense.
Shit, I didn't know barbarians could do that. Okay.
Oh yeah, medium armor, baby.
What is it called again?
Bracers
of defense.
Yeah, bracers of defense, and they require attunement.
Okay.
So yeah, during a long rest, you have plenty of time to attune to it. So,
All right. Well,
I
that's
also have
salt.
that ring of evasion too.
Valor
Oh.
speaks up and he says, I think those bracers suit you just nice, Dez.
Thank you.
You could do some embroidery on them. Make some animals on them, maybe some flowers and stuff like that. I got the kit if you want to borrow it.
Bedazzles her own bracers.
Okay. Question, and this is strictly a question to you guys. Do you all have a desire to RP your dinner?
No.
Okay. Because if we don't RP the dinner, then we would have about enough time for whoever is going to do so to try to go and talk to the Cloud Giant Guardian while the dragon
It's leaving.
goes into the throne room to wait. So it'll just say you guys have had your long rest. Nothing has attacked you in the night. And the next morning, the dragon goes in the throne room, gets all up in the throne. Dez, you notice that when the dragon goes to the throne, kind of looks around, and it looks very carefully down at the base of one of the legs of the throne, and then it just sort of sniffs, and then it takes a claw and goes up under the seat cushion, and you can see that it is looking at a tiny little gem held between its claws. And
This is like. Doo, 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 doo.
yeah. So who is going to go talk to the try to deliver the message about
Not
meeting
me. The
with
last time I
new-
tried to give them some food, they chucked a rock at me.
They threw a rock at you? Damn.
Yeah, it hurt like hell. I'm not gonna lie. It was
Well-
a really
Yeah.
big rock.
Perhaps I could go do it. I mean, I'm pretty good at talking to people, and
Okay.
Maybe-
Anybody going with Falliger or
I'll back him up.
And I'll walk over to the two of them, and one by one, as I'm reaching into my bag of holding and grabbing the stone speaker crystal, I whisper into each of their ears and cast Fortune's favor on each of them.
Cool.
Ooh, Fortune's favor. So 1 hour. Latent luck. Okay. So you get attack roll, ability
get a-
check, or saving throw within an hour. Roll an additional D20 and choose which one to use. And if the original roll has advantage or disadvantage, the reroll also has advantage or disadvantage. So, all right. Then let me grab the tokens for Thalador and Falliger.
I'd like to think Belle would go with Falliger, but she's not here, so.
Yeah, she's not here to speak for herself, so.
I'm taking a cat nap.
Cat nap.
Yeah. Oh, boom, boom. Okay. So, you guys go up here, and I'm going to move the ribbon, and I'm going to put you here. And you are, Dez has told you about the layout, and so you realize this is the place. Actually, you can also see the boulder that was thrown at Krenraid over here by the door.
It was shied at you.
Yeah. So, Falliger, Thaldor, what would you like to do?
Go ahead. What are you gonna say?
No, I was saying I'm just walking with Falliger and saying, Captain C, you're the charismatic one, buddy. I mean, talk your magic. I'm here to back you up if you need it.
I kind of wish Mulek would have come with us, to be honest, but no sense backing out now. Hopefully this thing understands common. And
oh yeah, me and Mu look at the
Falliger walks up to the door and he just like kicks the door like it's a knock.
Okay. Go ahead.
I am the ambassador for Lord Felgolos, the new rightful ruler of this castle, and I have come on his behalf to parley with you.
And there is a sound inside. There's a voice that says in a harsh language, something that sounds like a command. And then it turns to the door. It says, in common, it says, Lord Felgolos, that treacherous bronze dragon. That Lord Felgolos.
Listen, I'm not here to say who's right or who's wrong. The situation of it is the keep has fallen. Your comrades and everyone in it. You and those children are the only ones left besides the cook's help. And I have persuaded the dragon, I think, to allow you and the children to live. If you will come and speak with him.
My sister is dead. The Countess.
I'm afraid so, yes.
I told her that her madness was going to put us all in danger. I warned her. But would she listen to her brother? No. She listened to that primped up pretty boy she took up with, who filled her head with notions that she was some reincarnation of a cloud giant queen from the days before the ordning.
Let me be clear. I follow Helm. And I cannot stand idly by and let any harm come to these children, so I have hopefully negotiated a manner in which you three can still live. And I hope you remember my words when I am gone, that you will drop your hate and your anger, and you will start a new tradition of not hating dragons and dragons not hating giants, at least here in this keep, for the sake of those two children.
What does this Lord Felgolos ask of us?
Well, as I said, at first he was going to eat the children and you, but I had to remind him that that's not the way he was made. I'm being truthful with you. I think that's honorable that two, well, I wouldn't say men, but a giant and a man, as long as there's truth between them, they can work anything out.
And you hear a key turned in the latch inside, and the handle of the door moves, and the door pulls open. And you see Count Thullen standing there, looking down at the two of you. Two humans and a dwarf.
Sorry.
You came. I suppose you are in league with that dragon. Came to rescue him. You're not there. I don't think, Krenraid.
You said dwarfs. I thought it was upstairs. Sorry.
Oh, no. Because he saw you last night.
Right. Sorry, my misunderstanding.
That's fine. Oh. So, does he require me to come?
Yes, and I think you should bring the children.
You say you follow this helm. I have heard of that faith from other small folk that I have met. Many account him a deity of justice. You say that you vouchsafe the lives of these children.
He's a deity of protection and guardianship, not of justice.
Oh. Well,
I also serve the great god Corleone of the elves, but that's on my mother's side. Neither here nor there, but please come.
Very well. Children, Kaltar, Alastra, come with me. And he takes his morning star and he puts it in a sheath in his back, across his back. And then he reaches out his hands, reaches down, and he takes one of the small, and you can tell now these are like cloud giant toddlers. They're, they're probably about, in giant terms, the equivalent of 4 or 5 year old human kids in terms of their development. And he says, "Now, do not speak. You are going to need to be brave, but be quiet. We are going to meet someone very scary, but your Uncle Thullen will keep you safe." And they look up and they just nod. And you can tell, looking at their faces, that these kids have probably been crying a lot. And over the last, over the last evening. So they will go here. We will copy these guys, and then we are going to end the night by coming back over here and coming over here and having these guys walk in to the throne room. And Felgolos is seated in the throne and looking extremely regal. He's stretched out to his full length with his wings fully extended out to either side and just sort of perched there, almost like some kind of great bird of prey, looking down on the anybody who would come in to the audience before his throne. And he says, "Who are you?" And that's where we're going to leave it, because we have come to time, and we will pick up with this audience between Felgolos and the Count and see what happens on our next session. All right, so players, thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out with us this evening. And viewers, thank you so much for being with us tonight. We hope you have enjoyed our session, and we definitely hope you will be back with us next week for session 57 of the Sword Coast Chronicles. We kind of don't know exactly what the end of the story of this castle is going to be. Will the PCs succeed in brokering some sort of peace? Will the dragon lose its temper and cause something to happen? And if the dragon does lose its temper, what will the PCs do about it? So that is where we all stand this evening. All right. Before we go, I want to allow Paul and Michael to talk about what's coming up on their channels between now and next Thursday. Paul, do you have anything in particular going on?
I do indeed. On the 11th, next Wednesday, I have a Blades in the Dark game, which is based off a system that uses like Victorian ghosts and things. It's spooky, it's excellent, and it's all about crime. In a typical D&D session, you may spend 3 hours on the prep work of a job. In Blades in the Dark, you just make it up as you go along and have flashback moments, and I did that beforehand, and it just gets straight into the meaty-gritty action. That, ironically, is on the Action Sturge, which is a wonderful group of guys. I play with them regularly. Very fun group. And that's Wednesdays. That's next Wednesday. I'm going to be in that game, and that will be at 8 p.m. EST.
Okay. That's going to be twitch.tv/the action. Action Sturge. STURGE is their Twitch channel. They do great work on Wednesday nights. Always a lot of fun over there on that channel. I've played with them before on Wednesday nights as well. All right. And Michael, what is coming up on the Doors of Fear channel between now and next Thursday?
I started today streaming Kingdom Come Deliverance. I'll probably be playing that later this evening. And other different variety games. So just anytime this week, just come check me out. I'll be around. And that's twitch.tv/Doors of Fear.
Yep. Okay. I've got that in there as well. So go check out Michael. He's a variety streamer, does all kinds of fun games over there on his channel. All right. And on this channel, we will be back on Saturday night for our second edition D&D game. They are in the middle of the storyline for the Temple of Elemental Evil, and they are in the underbelly of the old moat house, dealing with some zombies down there. Then on Sunday, we will be back for our 5th edition Planeswalking game, The Walker of Waterdeep, where they have found themselves in a strange demiplane indeed. A demiplane where deities sit in courtrooms and have judges arbitrate duels, magical duels, using playing cards of a weird type. And somehow the players have been involved in the arbitration of a match that, didn't end the way it was supposed to end. So the party's going to have to figure out what's going on there. And then Monday night, I will be back for my one mic Monster Monday. And this Monday, we're going to be looking at the Revenant, which is a kind of undead in the history of D&D. And it's a very fun kind of undead that you can use. And if that name sounds familiar, you may have heard of the movie, I think, in the last decade. I think it was, I don't know if it was Quentin Tarantino. Yeah, it was Leonardo DiCaprio was in that film. I wanted to say it was a Quentin Tarantino movie, but I don't think that's right. Didn't seem outlandish enough to be his film. So anyway, we will talk about the D&D version of the Revenant and its history as a monster in the game. All right, and then of course, please, we hope that you will be back next Wednesday. I hope that you have enjoyed the new border that we used tonight. Let us know what you think about that. You can go over to the archives over on the YouTube channel. Leave any comments there, any ideas for what we could. Oh, thank you, Commodore. Glad you liked it. And sorry about that. And we will be doing some more interesting things throughout the month. Webcams, at this point, the players in my games tend to be a little camera shy. And some of them are technology, resource challenged, let's say. So they don't always have webcams handy for their games. So what we have done is we are putting the character portraits up instead of, or in lieu of webcams, just to make it easier to identify which character is which So that's what we'll be having. But we will be looking at opportunities to perhaps recruit some active moderators, maybe even a moderator that would have access to the map, so that when I go about changing the map that we are on, a moderator might be able to recenter the map and make sure that everybody is looking at the area. I have to figure out how that can be done. If I can do something like that, where I can give a moderator the ability to log into Roll20 and recenter the map for everybody else, so that it controls the view on the stream. Because that's one of the challenges I find. I get busy manipulating these guys over here, and then after a while I realize, well, we've been showing some room that we're not in for the last half hour. So
we need a camera goblin.
Yeah, we need a camera goblin. All right. So, but look for that, and then more stuff coming for September next month. All right, everybody. I am almost over this summer cold. Not quite. My voice is about shot, so I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Thank you again for watching. Take care and have a wonderful, wonderful week. We hope we see you again soon here on the Galabond streams. Good night, everybody.
Good night.